I was in Munich's Old Town today and it was a bit busier than usual. A real city festival. The reason was the city's birthday. On June 14, Munich turned 867 years old. And if you do some quick math, the year of birth is 1158. This actually makes Munich a fairly young city in Europe. Cities like Athens date back to 1300 BC, Marseille to the 6th century and Naples to the 5th century BC. In Germany, the oldest settlements are Roman foundations such as Trier in 16 BC or Munich's neighboring city of Augsburg in 15 BC. But even individual districts of Munich that were later integrated into the city are older than Munich itself, such as Oberföhring, which is mentioned in 750, or Perlach in 790. To be fair, it must be said that there were archaeologically verifiable settlements in today's city center even before the founding date. But Munich was mentioned for the first time on June 14, 1158. I didn't find the festival itself that interesting for a video. There were food stalls, craftsmen showing their art, activities for children, information from various associations, lots of bric and brac for sale, concerts and a Ferris wheel, and certainly much more. Anyone who happened to be in town could have fun here. But I wouldn't sell it as a must-see tourist event. But I've never told you how Munich was actually founded. And here's the story. We have to go back to the 12th century for this. At that time, the Holy Roman Empire was shaped by two people. One was the Hohenstaufen Emperor Frederick I Barbarossa, named after his red beard. And on the other, Henry the Lion, from the House of Guelph. They were initially allies. In order to win Henry's favor for the upcoming Italian campaign against the rebellious Italian cities, Henry was granted the Duchy of Bavaria. Henry later reneged on his alliance with Emperor Barbarossa and they became bitter enemies. But that's a story for other history YouTube channels. Henry the Lion was primarily interested in continuously expanding his power base. This also required financial resources. The salt trade was very lucrative in the Middle Ages. Salt was mainly used to preserve food. At that time, as today, salt was mined in the Northern Alps. Cities such as Salzburg, in English Salt Castle, or Bad Reichenhall, Hall is a Celtic word for salt, refer to this. The old Roman salt road ran from Salzburg towards Augsburg and had to cross the Isar River. Although Henry had a bridge over the Isar, which was located where today's Ludwigsbrücke is, at the Deutsches Museum, the trade route ran over the bridge at Föhringen. Today, the Föhringen Wehr stands in place of the Föhringen Bridge. Unfortunately, this bridge did not belong to Henry at the time, but to Bishop Otto von Freising, who had a monopoly on the salt trade in Bavaria. Of course, Henry didn't like this at all, which gave him an idea. Yes, he simply tore down the bishop's bridge with his troops. Needless to say, the bishop was not at all happy about this and complained to Emperor Barbarossa. However, the latter was concerned about the balance in the empire and needed Henry's support, so he proposed a compromise. In the Augsburg arbitration of June 14, 1158, Henry's bridge over the Isar was granted custom rights. In it, the location of the bridge is described as Forum apud München, which means the market by the monks. And it's from the monks, Munichen, that the name Munich derived. After the dispute with Emperor Barbarossa, Henry the Lion was ostracized in the empire. He lost Bavaria in 1180, and from then on it was ruled by the House of Wittelsbach until 1918, when the monarchy was abolished. Munich flourished under the salt trade and the Wittelsbachs. The small settlement of monks soon became the mighty residential city of the Wittelsbachs. There were still salt warehouses in Munich until the 19th century. Today they are no longer part of the cityscape. So you could say that Munich is founded on a crime. At least it's nice that the people of Freising are no longer angry with us after 867 years, and are even playing at Munich's city birthday. If you're ever in Munich, why don't you book a tour with me? Here's my homepage and email address. See you in the next video, Philip.